So yesterday, Capcom asked for people to make a tier list because there's not a whole lot else going on. And I thought that was a fun idea, so I'm gonna try that out. I made a tier list for Street Fighter V a while back when the season was new, and I think it was okay. I mean, there were certainly some things that I think I would do differently. That was my tier list up there. So that was December 26th. The way that I tend to approach it is which characters do I think could win tournaments. So like I'm thinking about it as specifically a tournament mindset. So not as in every character has to play against every matchup and how would it do, because I think it's not descriptive of what I care about, which is how well or how easily a character can win a major. If your worst matchup is the least played character in the game, it doesn't matter that much, in my opinion, because it's just unlikely that you're going to run into that character. And by contrast, if your best matchups are characters that are like extremely common in tournament, then I think that gives you a leg up. So that's how I tend to look at tournaments, again with an eye to how would a character do in a major, and then not taking the strength of a character as it's displayed by any one person, but more that in each individual match, if both players are at the same theoretical skill level, which player's character should come out on top. So in a matchup by matchup basis, it's sort of the theory take on it, and then in the overall what's important aspect of it, I look at who would win a major. Alright, so let's start this thing out, huh? I guess we'll just do this alphabetically, right? Because they have it all lined up with the characters alphabetically, and what I'd like to do is just sort of jam them into like one of the two tiers nearest to where they will end up. So like with Abigail, I would go between one of the top two. One of these two, right? And, you know, we could haggle around which one is better for him, but I'd rather just get them all onto the page and then be a little bit more precise about it. So, Abigail, right? One of these two for sure. He's definitely among the better characters in the game. Alex is definitely among the weaker characters in the game, right? Is one of these two. One of these two. What do you think about Blanca? I mean, Blanca, I feel like the last two seasons, I've thought that Blanca was really good. And then nobody does anything with the character. It's rare to run into a good Blanca online. It's rare to even see footage like in those YouTube channels that compile a bunch of top level players and their online sets. It's rare to see a Blanca even in that. So the character just like is almost missing. But I feel like it should be up here, or maybe at worst here. It's like one of these two, in my opinion. Yeah, okay, so you guys are about the same. You put him in one of these two. So, alright, well, let's put him here, and we can definitely move him up here if we think so later. What are Blanca's bad matchups? I mean, I'm no Blanca expert, and that's part of the problem. I just sort of subjectively think that this character should be good. I look at the character, I see a lot of good tools, and so I am surprised, and I've been surprised over the last 2 years, that it feels like so few people are playing him. I'll say that I think that he beats the characters I play. I think he beats Zangief, I think he beats Dhalsim, and Honda. I feel like I don't have enough experience against strong Blancas to really say, to be honest. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, we'll haggle around Blanca later. So let's get to Vega. I propose here. So I'm actually not against Vega ending up here. And I'm not against Vega ending... No, I'm against Vega ending up down there. Yeah, I don't think he should be bottom. Nope. Nope, I don't think so. So I would say he's one of these two. If Vega's up here, then we're definitely moving Blanca up here. For sure. Or maybe just creating a new one. just creating a new tier. But anyway, for now, let's do this, and again, we'll haggle about this later. Yeah, I think Vega is definitely an improved character. The V skill 2, in retrospect, I'm not sure why I didn't think that it was more important than it was, but it really is. I mean, it gives him that extra mobility, it gives him the extra escape option. He has the threat of attacking afterward, and although it's not safe, it's not super great, it's there, and that's something that he just didn't have before. Invincibility into potential attack. And the invincibility is great. I mean, just for the characters that I play, I feel like it changes matchups pretty significantly. Like, he can get out of some important traps by Honda and Dhalsim for sure. I definitely think he's legit. Alright, Birdie. I would propose here, you know, I would say it's, well, I might be convincible that Birdie could end up down here or up here. That's probably not realistic, but I think I would say A- is where I would begin, and then maybe he moves up, maybe he moves down. I don't know, man. Look, I didn't think that Birdie was top tier last season. I thought he was like one of the potential top 10s. He was like a good character, but not top tier. And then he got maybe the most nerfed. And while those nerfs didn't kill him, they did make him worse in a way that I just didn't think was justified. I think he's still okay. It's just, if I were Capcom, I think I wouldn't have made any substantial changes to Birdie. I think that he was fine. Barlog. Alright, so look, I would say either here for Boxer or here. I would think one of these two, because I think this character got nice buffs. I think he's cool this season. I feel like he is able to address so many different matchups with his V skills and V triggers. Not just character matchup, but player matchup too. Like if you know a player is more concerned about overhead low mix-ups, or maybe is worse at dealing with overhead low mix-ups versus dealing with command grab mix-ups, different players are better or worse at handling one of those sides, and different characters are better or worse at handling different sides. And V skill 1 is really good to get through fireballs, and V skill 2, or I should say V skill 1 for the overhead, and V skill 2 for just busting through some matchups. I mean, it changed the Zangief matchup very substantially, I think. So, do you want the corner more? I mean, he's got all these questions you can answer with V skill 2 with V skill and with V trigger. Do you want the corner more? Would you rather play overhead low mix-ups? Would you rather play command grab mix-ups? Would you rather have more of a zoning aspect with V skill 2, right? More sort of footsie zoning rather than pressure, but you can create pressure very easily with it as well. He's just very versatile this season, I feel. So I would say I think he's good. All right. Well, okay. Look, we'll keep him here then. If people think that he's A- in general, that's fine. That's fine. Cody. My gut is to put Cody here. I think some of Cody's problems were addressed. Probably not as many as maybe he could have been addressed, but yeah, a little bit certainly. Better at dealing with projectiles than before. You know, some better pressure combo options than before. Still has one of the best V triggers in the game for sure. So I feel like I could see him being in one of these two, like A- or B+. You would say Cody's A, really? Dang. All right. Well, let's. All right. Let's stick with A-. We're gonna need to have another tier, I think. We'll have to open this up a little bit, but let's get through this first. Cammy. That seems pretty uncontroversial. I feel like that's where she's gonna end up. She's not one of the best characters in the game. She's definitely not worse. She's not mid-tier for sure. She's just like a good character, definitely. Right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, A+ maybe. I feel like once we get through the A+, and it'll be like, you know, there's going to be like probably a good half dozen characters in there that I think might deserve it before her. But anyway, it's A minimum. And then Chun-Li, I feel like this is uncontroversial as well. She's one of the best. Right? I mean, how did Birdie end up in A? So this is A minus here. So it's A plus A minus, B plus B. I know that on a lot of screens, I feel like this is going to be too small to really show up. I tried to, you know, actually I can, let's see if I can open this up for you a little bit more. All right, who needs me? I did make that transition. I think it's pretty great. Right, Chun-Li's up there. All right, Dhalsim. So, like I showed earlier in my 2 early season tier list, I had Dhalsim right at the bottom. Is this on here? Is this going to show up properly? Okay, cool. Yeah, I had him down here. Not in ass, all right? Nobody was ass, but I had him in least strong. And
for awesome transition.
Thanks, Shiki. Oh, nice work. Much obliged. So I don't think that's right anymore. I would say, I mean, honestly, I think Dhalsim's up here. I think maybe there's a chance he's here. He's not A. He's A minus or B plus. Something like that. So anyway, like I said, with all these characters, after we put everybody up here on the page, then we can go back and sort of haggle it out. But I definitely think he's one of these two, A minus or B plus. Ed. I saw Dominion in here earlier. Ed is a character that I expected to see some more of, and I've not. And so I don't really know what to make of it. It seemed to me, as somebody who didn't play the character, or really didn't even play against him, or even just see him at all, almost, that he got some of his important problems fixed, and then is rarely seen now. Why would you say he's bottom still? I'm not opposed to it. I'm just, like I said, I feel like this is one character that I see so rarely. Too many problems to list. Really? Okay. And are those like functionality problems in the way that there were before, where things would whiff, or is it more like his? Does he have matchup problems? Does he just not have strong enough tools? Dominion saying he didn't get buffed in the mid range. Okay. He's still the same character, I see. Yeah, of course this is a time when we're not gonna see tournament breakout performances. It just doesn't exist right now. But there's still a lot of footage. There's still a lot of online tournaments going on. More than there were before even. And in a weird way, I feel like that actually has made it possible to see more characters. Because, you know, when you usually watch weeklies, you're watching, at least in the US, you're watching NLBC, you're watching Wednesday Night Fights, you know, you're watching maybe the stuff in London, like there's a few others, Chicago area. There's certainly a few that I watch typically, but those are only with the players who live in those areas. Now, like, all those are just open up to more geographical range. And, you know, online play is not the best, but we do, I think, see more characters, actually. They nerfed the chip on Flickr? Man. Yeah, it's so rare to see that character. None of my friends really play him. Nobody at our local took him seriously. Just rare to see online. Rare to even watch online. And alright, well, anyway, we'll stick with Ed here. That's fine. Fang. Fang, I might put here now. I don't know. I don't think this character's great still. Maybe he's still down here. It's one of those two. There's not a lot more. He's certainly not A minus. Again, none of these characters suck. It's just, I feel like there's just obvious things that they could give to him and he would just be like pretty good, but they just don't want to make it so that he can do a light attack confirm into a knockdown. Like they gave him a V skill 2 that just doesn't work against EX moves. Like there's just weird limitations on the character that I've never really understood, and it's strange. It's strange. So I would say it's one of these two. B plus, y'all would say. Fang better than Ed Dominion says. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad character, but none of them suck. It's just he's limited for some. I mean, intentionally, clearly. I don't know. Anyway, Falk, I would say, is down here, and I don't think that she sucks either. But I also feel like I don't have terribly much trouble playing against her with characters who I think should have trouble. Like, just archetypes-wise, I feel like Zangief and Honda should lose to Falk, and I don't really think so. So, I don't know. I would... Certainly my inclination is to put her down here. What a stand roundhouse for Fang was +2. That one change would be pretty substantial if 3-frame characters couldn't just mash their button there, for sure. For sure. Yeah, Falk might be the best of B. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. We'll get to that in terms of the within tiers ordering later. Falk destroys Birdie, really? Okay. I don't know. Alright, Gil. So I would say Gil is... My initial landing for Gil is here, with the potential for him to go down here. I don't think he's not top to me. I would say he's, again, A or A-. It's one of these two to me. A-, you would say? Yeah, I think for me it's definitely one of these two. I guess it depends on who we end up having in A and so forth, but yeah, one of these. I think that A or A-, I mean, it makes sense for me because, I think Gil is good. I also think that my initial impression of Gil was maybe stronger than the characters ended up being. Again, not that he's weak, it's just I kind of had a thought that he would, I don't know, have more going on. Alright, Akuma. Oh, for sure. Let's move it. How come Akuma was... Oh, because he's Goki in Japan. For sure, that makes sense. So, I would say Akuma's up there. He's definitely one of the best characters in the game, so come on. Come on, everybody. Come on. He's obviously still good. Obviously still one of the best characters, for sure. Alright. Pretty clearly. G, I would say, is up here as well. G is, I think, in contention for best character in the game. Very good. Extremely good offense and neutral. I feel like we're going to end up with the top 5 being mostly characters who actually don't have, like, 3 frames and invincible DPs, but we'll see. Guile! So, Guile, I could see ending up in, oops, definitely not there, in either A or in A-. For me, it's one of these two. But definitely a good character. You guys would say A? Everybody says A. Okay, for sure. Fair enough. Edmund Honda is next. So my take is that I would say same thing as for Guile. I would say I could see him here and I could see him here. I think Honda's strong. I don't think that he really gets killed anybody. In B+, you are wilding out, friend. I think this character is good. So I would say one of these two. It's probably safest to start him here. Maybe we could see if he moves up or not, but I'd say it's one of those. He has... So, as I was mentioning earlier, that when I think about tier lists, I think about who would win in a tournament and you know, who their likely opponent characters would be, and whether that, like, how that interfaces with their good and bad matchups. So Honda, I think, actually has good matchups against most of the strong characters, and the characters that he loses to are like Fang, and like there's no Fangs in the world. There's like 5 in the entire Earth, and you know, if that's your worst matchup, I just think it's like not actually super important. In general, I think he's good, and I don't think he really gets dunked by anybody else. Ibuki, I would say to start out right here, and like at worst, maybe A, but I feel like it's an A+ for Ibuki, because she's really good. She's still really good, definitely. Yeah, all right. We got 1 vote for A and A+ for everybody else. Yeah, I still think she's good too. But it's one of these two, clearly. It's clearly A+ or A. Nah, there's no S tier in SF5. Absolutely. Jury. My take on Jury is probably here. It's one of these two. I don't think she's going to be an A-. I think it's going to be in one of these two weaker ones. You would say A- Defeat Lee? Criminally underrated? Whoa. Alright. Let's start out at B+, and maybe we can move her up to A- later, depending on what the other characters in the area looks like. Ken. Ken, I would stay to start here. I think Ken is underrated. And I don't know if that's right to say. I think Ken's good. Like, Ken is not, to me, he's definitely not a top tier. He's probably not a high tier. He's not a low tier. I feel like this guy's the definition of in the middle. And he's very, very much a middle character. In a game where that's not bad. It's pretty good. Yeah, okay. Cool. He's not Fang. Yeah, I agree with you. And again, it might be that we need to add another tier in here somewhere. I'll think about that in a little bit. Maybe add a B- and then just, you know, free open a little tier in the middle. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So Kage, yeah, I would say to start Kage here. I agree. I mean, I could be convinced that Kage should be in here, but it seems weird to me that Ken and Kage will be in the same tier, because I think that Kage is like a better Ken. So I think this is where I would begin. Yeah. Definitely one of the best characters in the game. Man, she's got a lot of good stuff going for her. Karen is either here or here. She's certainly not worse than A. I think it's probably safer to start out in A. Maybe we'll haggle about it a little bit later, but I think this is probably good range for her. Yeah, A. Okay, cool. Yeah, there you go. Cool, man. Yeah, I agree. She did get nerfed in some ways, for sure. The post-throw situation in the corner is not as strong, definitely. She can still control what you do, but there's a mix-up as to whether there's going to be a throw. Like, she's got to walk, right? She didn't have to do before. So, yeah, Karen, probably right there. Laura, I would say, is in the same spot. So, Laura up here, she was definitely an underrated character, and then they buffed her. And they buffed her, like, a lot. She's one of the more buffed characters this season. And she was already really good. Well, she wasn't really good. She was good. And then they buffed her substantially. Very good. Lucia. Lucia's one. Yeah, she's one of these two. B or B+. It's not entirely clear to me which one. I wouldn't say A-. I think that's... You would say A-, Dominion? You would say... Really? Okay, we got another vote for A- from Hey It's Coins as well. Huh. And from Surreal Experience, we got all these votes for A- here. Interesting. My experience against the character is not a lot. I've looked into her, certainly. But my experience is not... I don't have a lot of top-level experience against Lucia, because she's just not very common. Maybe the last in A-. Okay. A? Come on, friend. Come on, T. Kimura. Alright. We'll go here for now. Menat. So I would say Menat's up here. I think that character is good. What do y'all think? You all say Menat A? Alright, very good. You would say A+ even. Alright. Well, look, I mean, we can talk about the minutia, which tier's which, later. But yeah, definitely I would say A. I think she's a good character overall. Just a not easy one to use. Nekali. Ooh, I would say oh, my bad. I would say Nekali's A. I could imagine him being A+, to be honest. But for me, it's one of these two. They buffed him, and he was already, I thought he was already good. A-? Oh, you all are crazy. I don't think he's A-. I think for me, he's A or A+. He's never been bad. Absolutely right. And this season, I'm not even sure he's boring to play. I think he's kind of cool. I like the ability to do EX stomps. And B+. And for a character who's... Like, if there's a downside to Nekali, it's that his buttons are a little stubby, and he's not the best at, like, playing at any sort of range, unless it's even further where he can do Seismo. But EX stomps, like, I mean, he already had, like, 3 chance throw or frame trap, right? 2 or 3 chance. Now he keeps it going. He's +2. I think he's good, man. I think Nekali is a really good character. So I would say A or A+, but let's get back to that later. Nash. I mean, I'm going here. And the highest I could see is here. But I would start out with B. B+, y'all would say? Yeah, it's one of these two, for sure. He's not A-. So it's not that I think Nash is terrible. Again, I don't think any of these characters are terrible. But to me, the consequences of making choices that are wrong against Nash are just rarely important. Like, I just don't feel like if I make the wrong mistake against Nash, I just don't feel like I'm in trouble a lot of the time. I'm just like, whatever. Like, he's gonna do a little bit of damage. I mean, I don't know. Who cares? Right? Yeah. So what's nice at least is that his anti-air now can more consistently lead to a cross-up or not mix-up. That's cool. It's just, I don't know. Say he hits you. I never feel scared. Sometimes you do make right mistakes. Sometimes they're mistakes that you can learn from, but against Nash, I just feel like I'm never that concerned. Anyway, we can talk about him later. Poison. So I would say Poison for me is A+ or A. One of these two. I kind of feel the same way about her as I do about Nikali, I guess, where I think that she could be one of the strongest characters. I mean, she's not like top 3, I would say, but she's definitely in contention for being among the best. It's one of those two, A+ or A. You guys are saying A+ to start with? Okay. Alright. Rainbow Mika. I feel like Mika's here. Still pretty good. Definitely good. They basically didn't change her. She's like the same character. They didn't even give her a new V-skill. What is it? Crouching Strong is worse. There's like one setup where it doesn't work anymore as a meaty in the same way. But yeah, I still think she's just basically the same. Fundamentally, just good movement, has a fast button, has good pressure, good damage. I hear you, Defeatly. Yeah. Alright, Rashid. Ba-bam. Now, I think that the more that this game is opened up, the more I could see a world in which Rashid is A, and I wouldn't like deny the existence of that world. But I would say it's safer to go for A+ here. Especially, okay, I guess what I really mean to say is I could see a world in which Rashid is not the best character in the game. Maybe that's what. All right, so anyway, he's definitely A+. Now that I think about it a little bit more, he's not worse than this many characters. Maybe he's not at the front of A+ tier, but like he's not worse than how many? We have 7 characters here. No, he's not worse than that many. All right. Ryu. So I don't think Ryu's one of the worst characters in the game now. I would say he's B+ or A-. He snowballs a little bit better than before, and his V-trigger exists now. Pretty cool. He's not great, but yeah, I would say it's between A- or B+ for me. A lot of votes for both. All right, well let's leave him here, and then we'll haggle it out later. He's one of these though. Sagat. I think that I would say the same about Sagat. Do I think Vega's worse than Ryu though? I'm not sure I do. Anyway, all right, we'll haggle this out in a little bit here. We'll haggle this out. But let's get everybody else onto the page. So Sagat, I would say maybe here A-. I feel pretty good. Sagat A- y'all would say as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we probably will need to add a new one. That's okay. Sakura, I would say Sakura's in the same spot. Ooh, we're getting big. I mean, I could see her being up here. That wouldn't be too surprising to me. But I feel like it's one of these two in general. Nauman won EVO Japan with her. He got dunked in some stuff later on. Space Boy's been winning. I think she's pretty good. Close to A+. Zoinks. I don't know, man. Yeah, so the more we get more of these onto the page here, the more I think we'll need to make a B- and then just sort of shift all of these down and then open up more room between A and A-, effectively. Dude, her walk speed's incredible. Her walk speed has been causing me problems ever since she came out. Even before she got some other stuff. Seth. Let's go on. We'll figure this out. So Seth, I got him up here. I think Seth's one of the best characters in the game. Would you say A? I mean, I think that I just look at Seth and I feel like I see every single option. Like, there's nothing that I think Seth's weak at, with the exception, obviously, of not as much health as characters, but in terms of the tools, it's all there. Gil should be next to Seth? I don't agree with that. I really don't. I think that Seth is a lot better. Seth doesn't have decent mix? Say what? Or a decent V-trigger? What? I don't agree with either of those. What are you talking about? There's definitely a decent V. There's 2 decent V triggers. I mean, Seth's V triggers are not like the best in the game. Are they G? No, but they're good. Seth just starts pumping out damage and plus frames with V trigger 1. Pumping out damage and plus frames. And with V trigger 2, you get some cool mix-ups and some cool pressure series. But if you get a touch with this character, and it's, look, I think Seth has hit confirmable buttons too. I mean, crouching medium kick, stand strong, even for me, are hit confirmable buttons, and I'm not great at that. So I feel like if you're a good player, that should definitely be stuff. I've been watching Punk play that character. He's hit confirming stuff all the time. Anyway, I feel like, all right. Come on now. Let's move on. All right. Anyway, obviously this guy's also up here. Urian, A+. Come on. Also clear. No doubt about it. There's some up here that I feel like we haven't even had a conversation about. We're just like, put him in A+. Yep, for sure. And it's the same way for Bison. Now, Zangief, you know, Zangief's hard for me. He's in one of these two. He's an A or A-. And my instinct is to put him in A-. I feel like that's a little bit more appropriate for him. He loses to some characters, you know, and he loses to important characters. Like, I'm looking at these characters up here in A+. Abigail, loss. Chun-Li, loss. G, loss. Poison, loss. Right? Like, I mean, those are important characters. Yeah, still very polarizing. He does have a better chance in some of those matchups that he did before, because V-Skill 2 is actually pretty useful in some of them, but I think not enough to cause him to win, or even really to make those even, just maybe like Poison went from 3-7 to 4-6, something like that. Like, it's a tough one. Alright, and then Zeku, I would say, is here. Well, I mean, maybe with the size of the A+, maybe I would put him up here now, because there's just so many characters up here. We definitely need to spread this out a little bit more, but it's one of these two for sure. There has to be a new tier around this region so that we can like create one that is a little bit more accurate. But I feel like this is okay so far. We got everybody onto the page. A+, you all think? Okay. We got 1 vote for an A-, but A+ in general, and I think I agree with that. Yeah, all right. I think this is okay. Again, some of these I think we're gonna need to slightly reposition. I think Vega deserves to probably be on par with some of the characters that are in the A-, for example. Yeah, we definitely got to spread some of this out a little bit.